school, children can benefit from a transition period of in-home daycare rather than being in a commercial daycare environment where they are quickly introduced to this professional environment, and a lot of thought should be taken into consideration in making this decision. Children are getting burnt out at younger ages all the time, and unless we take the correct actions in preparing them, they will continue to get worse. Children are introduced to professionalism, strict guidelines, and commercial buildings early enough with school that the decision of daycare can possibly ease this transition or throw them into that somewhat cold environment even earlier. We also see burnout and attention problems at earlier ages all the time, and need to find a transition that will help prevent this or at least put it off until an older age. By making an educated decision on childcare, we can help prepare the children in a home-like environment while still learning and helping them grow without completely overwhelming them all at once. We also need to consider, while looking at these choices, what the children are thinking, their comfort and mindset, rather than just think about education, state licensing, and the comfort of the adult or the parent that's making the decision. We also have to look at each individual scenario, since of course each commercial daycare and each in-home daycare are not identical or even somewhat similar at times. My point is not necessarily to persuade you that in-home daycare is a better decision for all children, but to inform you of the benefits of in-home daycare in comparison to commercial daycares. I have seen, and also the importance we need to put on the effort and research we put into the decision of what type of daycare is best and affects the decision, whether it is our child's sibling or someone else's child we're even close to. The first type of daycare to look at is the commercial daycare center that we see more and more throughout the years. When I was recently researching daycares and stopping by to interview the providers, I was able to get a good feel for the average commercial daycare center. The first issue that I ran into was the fact that the providers did not seem happy that you did not make an appointment prior to stopping by. And as a parent or guardian, I think we can all acknowledge the feeling that if the child is going to be attending the daycare, we should be able to see how they really are, not just what they're trying to present when you're first signing up or setting up an appointment to come in. At first sight, the providers didn't seem well organized and to be well educated, but I also had to think of other aspects that would affect my 18-month-old as well, rather than just the cosmetics and the first impression. These centers provide you with a schedule for almost everything you can think of. They have scheduled meals, television time, playtime, story time, pickup time, and even scheduled diaper changes. Whether you're a parent, family member of a young child, don't even have your own kids, or anyone with kids close to you, I think you can realize as a toddler this would probably be a huge change from home and is a little over the top. While structure is good for children, scheduling a time to pick up their toys isn't like the best or most important structure for a child. A scheduled diaper change every 2 hours was something that really left me astonished, and this was at multiple commercial daycares that I visited. My child's doctor once stated that an 18-month-old or an infant can only control 2 things: when they eat and when they go potty. So if we take these and structure them, they have no control over their own life and can be greatly affected. Not only do scheduled diaper changes take this away, but they also can mean a child is in a dirty diaper for an hour and 59 minutes if they go directly after a diaper changing time, which doesn't sound right or comfortable. Also, when looking at these environments like the ones in the pictures to your left, they don't look like a comfortable environment for a young child, and it looks like they're already in school or in a business trying to accommodate children for a short period. From rows of cribs to hard floors and cubicle settings, they don't look very inviting. The bright lights, hard floors, and organized rooms look more like a school and most likely not very inviting to a toddler at 6 o'clock in the morning. The website schoolfamilyeducation.com had an article entitled In-Home Care versus Commercial Daycare Center by Peggy Rissler that states, people who push computers and structured learning activities for young children simply don't understand that it is a play that teaches kids the most important things they need to know. An environment like this seems to be take an approach where play is not involved in learning and could hinder the children in the area of development. While we may look at the structure and learning as a plus, we need to consider they have 13 years of public education coming, and throwing them into this somewhat cold and strict environment may not only prepare them for those 13 years, but start them in it before they are ready and could create possible burnout at an early age where we're setting them up for failure. The other main type of daycare to consider is in-home daycare, which was the traditional form of daycare that we don't see as much currently. Through my research of in-home daycares and visiting these types of daycares in the Treasure Valley, I was able to make the decision that this is what was right for my child. I started out by entering the daycares to see how they operated without setting up an appointment, and at most sites was welcomed without hesitation. I even had an owner bring up the fact that they shouldn't have to set appointments, and if it's messy or a kid is acting up, we should be able to see those worst points, not just the clean and happy times of the day. Rather than the strict type scheduled with diaper changes every 2 hours that I saw for many of the commercial daycares, I was able to see that the children were taken care of instantly, and rather than trying to schedule everything the children were given, some structure, but there was more focus on their needs and getting them through the day comfortably while playing with other children and learning. These daycares have nutritional meals just like the commercial daycares, but the children are able to sit at an actual kitchen table rather than a cafeteria setting that we would see in a commercial center. These in-home daycares also usually have less children, so that the adults have more one-on-one time with the children, and the children aren't overwhelmed with all of the people, but they still get the needed play and social time that is needed. In-home daycares also have story times and different plans throughout the week to incorporate education with specific tasks or goals for each children based on their needs and situation. Children at in-home daycares also get more open time to play and socialize on their own, which teaches them to be individuals and go out on their own. Babycenter.com released an article from their Baby Center Medical Advisory Board entitled Home Daycare Advantages and Disadvantages. And one of the points I found interesting that related to this open play time was the opportunity to play and learn with other children is something both home daycares and centers offer that nanny care can't. But unlike centers, which tend to group kids by age, home daycares usually have missed age groups which more closely mirror most families and may help your child learn to feel comfortable around other kids. This points out that kids can learn to deal with different situations and different people in a better manner when given the opportunity to do more on their own and mix with different people. Looking at the poster to your right, we were able to see a happy child in a comfortable environment where they are in the same situation they would be at home. But with the interaction of other children, we are also able to see a comforting home for the children to come to daily, the sleep area that looks similar to most homes, and the learning and play area at the bottom that is bright, open, yet still has the feeling of a child's home. These are all things that we can relate to finding comforting, and a child will most likely transition to easily due to having similar environments at home, just with added learning and socializing. Overall, when looking at both options, we need to consider the comfort of the children, especially in the infant and toddler stage when they are blank canvases. Education and structure are very important to children, but from the two citations included previously, we can see that the opportunity for play, playtime, and diversity can help children develop knowledge, different skills, and their own personalities. Depending on the family and child, one choice may outweigh the other. But for most people, their home is a comforting and nurturing environment, rather than the business-like environment of a commercial daycare. And in-home daycares can provide a transition period of a nurturing environment while slowly letting them adjust to other children and learning. Children are the futures of our families and our country, and the consideration of their needs and building of self-esteem, knowledge, and comfort should be important to everyone, whether you're a parent or not.
I'll take in-house daycare.
I thought the baby was going to go there right on.